Our first guest tonight is the Vice President of the United States. Please welcome back to the show, Vice President Kamala Harris, everyone.
Back.
It's very exciting to have you, especially to have you here as the vice president. We've had you on the show before as a senator, and
yes.
I have noticed the security protocols have changed a great deal. I don't know if we're overprotecting our vice presidents or underprotecting our senators. I can't imagine how much that part of it has changed your life. How have the security protocols just infringed on being a normal human being?
Well, okay, one example would be my husband, Doug, and I, the first, second gentleman of the United States.
Very exciting. I do want to focus. I feel like we're not focusing enough on what white men have accomplished with your rise.
I know, it's exactly, we have jokes about that, too. But, you know, we love to take walks. And these days, the walks are quite different. So I love The Godfather. So, okay, do you know that? Do you know The Godfather?
Yeah, this is not where I thought your nice walk.
It is. No, I'm going to tell you. So, you know that scene when Michael is in Italy, he had to leave?
Yes.
Okay, and then he's courting that woman, and they decide to take a walk through the village. And so the shot is just the two of them taking this lovely walk, and then it pans out, and the whole village is with them?
Yes.
That's what our walks are like.
A little bit less
It's a little different. It's a little different, yeah.
So we mentioned, obviously, already in the show, this sort of historic act about marijuana, and certainly on a federal level. The question, I guess, is, you know, it's actually not that many people are affected by it, but it's such a big step in the right direction. What happens next, other than just pressuring governors to do the same on the state level? Do you see legislation in the future?
Well, you know, we've tried over the years, but let me just start with saying this. I strongly believe and the majority of Americans agree. Nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so we start with that, and then we are, to your point, urging, and the president has been very clear, we're urging governors and states to take our lead and to pardon people who have been criminalized for possession of marijuana. And ultimately, though, as with so many issues, if Congress acts, then there is a uniform approach to this and so many other issues. But Congress needs to act. We're 29 days away from the midterms. Ask who you're voting for, where they stand on this, and I encourage you to vote accordingly.
As an administration, you have accomplished a great deal, despite only having a 50-50 Senate.
Yeah.
You mentioned 29 days out for midterms. What is different if you win 2 more Senate seats? What is the message as far as what will change for Americans' lives if you have that sort of majority in the Senate that isn't weighing on maybe 2 Democratic senators who aren't always as in line with the party?
There's so much set that changes. So 29 days. The Dobbs decision. So the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, just took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America, right? And that, the significance of that is profound in terms of what it means for the rights of individuals, and in particular, for the right of an individual to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do. But in addition, what it means for the next 29 days is if we keep our numbers in the Senate and elect 2 more United States senators, then the president can sign into law the Women's Health Protection Act, which would put into law the protections of Roe v. Wade. So critically important. 29 days to go. And the reality of it is that, on the one hand, 29 days, everyone has a lot going on, very busy, and it's going to take an effort to make sure that you vote. On the other hand, these House seats, they're 2-year terms. These Senate seats, 6-year terms. So think about it. Whether we let it go with status quo the way it is now for the next 2 years or 6 years, or in the next 29 days, make a plan to vote and actually vote on this issue.
I think that I think correctly, you know, a lot of people think about abortion as an important issue, but you've also talked about maternal health, which seems like that would be the one that would seem like everyone could agree on, because the health of a mother, the health of a child, this, based on what both sides of the aisle say, this is deeply important to them. And yet, it seems as though we can't even reach a consensus on that. Can you just talk about the importance of maternal health and steps that we can take to make life better for certainly young mothers?
Yeah, it's a critically important issue, and I know you've spoken up on this over the years. In our country today, women are still dying in connection with childbirth. And when you look at then the racial disparities, Black women are 3 times more likely to die, Native American women twice as likely to die, women in rural America 1.5 times more likely to die. And a lot of it has to do with, again, the disparities in the healthcare system, and that we are not putting enough attention and resources and priority into women's needs, especially as it relates to their reproductive health. And I do want to say this also. This is an issue that affects all genders. If you have a partner, if you have a sister, if you have an aunt, a mother, this affects you. Not to mention on the Dobbs decision, when Justice Clarence Thomas said the quiet part out loud, which is that when they took the constitutional right from women on reproductive choice, that he said that in line, in terms of what might come next, is your right to contraception. That will affect all genders. Your right to marry the person you love, same point. And so there is so much on the line with these issues that affects everyone and the people you love. And for that reason, let's take it seriously, and let's, you know, speak with our vote and undo what I think is a great travesty of justice as it relates to that Dobbs decision.
I have a lot more to ask you. I do hope you'll stick around. We'll be right back with more from the Vice President, everybody.